Welcome back to the Scramble Drill Podcast. Not wild. I almost said wild card like an idiot. Conference Championship preview episode. Yeah. I'm going back in time, trying to figure out a way to go back and get the Bills a win somehow. But alas, it's not going to happen. We are in Conference Championship week, and maybe a little shorter episode today. We'll see. There's only 2 games to talk about. There's 3 games left in the NFL season. Total. That's it. And then we have 250-something days until football again.
Also, 3 games left just does not feel right. I don't like that. I don't like that. But I do have a prediction. My prediction, we've never done a podcast under an hour. Tonight's when it happens. We go under an hour tonight. That is my prediction.
Yeah, I think so. We talked a little bit before the show. Do we want to do coaches? We're not going to touch on that today. Trust me, we're thinking about it. It's at the very forefront of my mind for sure. It deserves its own episode. We need the full time of an episode to talk about that. So today, just the games. And next week's schedule could be a little hectic. We got a big winter storm coming in. And Landon, you have a baby on the way.
I mean, any moment now. And then we got winter storm. So we'll see what next week looks like. But let's talk championship weekend. Maybe the best weekend of the year. A lot of years, this is the best weekend of the year. I'm not sure if I feel that way this year. But a lot of years, this is the case.
Yeah. I don't this year. Normally I'm a divisional round is usually my favorite of the playoffs, but championship is always good. But this is definitely one of the weirder years of conference championships we've ever had, and maybe ever will have again. So let's just jump straight into the first one. This will be 3:00 game on Sunday. This will be Patriots in Denver. 1 seed versus the 2 seed. Where do you want to start on this one, Landon?
I want to start by saying this. This is the teams in the AFC with the 2 best records all year. Now, New England was 32nd in strength of schedule. Denver was either 31st or 30th. I mean, they were really low as well. But at the end of the day, these teams won the most games in the regular season, and they made it here. Like, all year, we thought, early on, we were thinking Chiefs are better, Bills are better, Ravens are better. They just got to click, find their groove, whatever. And it never happened. These were the best teams. And they stand before us, AFC Championship on the line. But obviously, for the game purposes, there's only one story, really. And it's, you lose your quarterback last play of the divisional round or second to last play, and you're looking at what is really going to happen here, AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I don't.
It's crazy.
And I hate it for the Patriots because I know I'm going to make this argument. There's going to be a lot of other people are going to make this argument. I hate it, but their path was so easy. But, I mean, you could still say it like, look, they got past a good Chargers team. I know they were banged up, but they got past a good Chargers team. They got past a good Texans team. Granted, C.J. Stroud made a disaster of it. But people have mocked them for the schedule. They get to the AFC Championship game, and it's not their fault.
Right.
But Bo Nix is out, so Jared Stidham is in their way.
It's a weird path. But on the Broncos side, first off, I can't imagine this for Broncos fans. Like, the season was everything you wanted. Everything in your wildest dreams coming into the season. I think Broncos fans thought we're going to be good this year. We're going to, Sean Payton, Bo Nix are going to take that next step. I don't think in their wildest dreams they would have thought 1 seed and win a shootout to make the AFC Championship game. I do not think Broncos fans were thinking that way, but that's what they got. Like, everything turned up Broncos, and then right at the end, you lose your starting quarterback. If this was, Washington was in a very similar situation last year where they win the divisional round, obviously, to go to the championship game, play the Eagles. we got blown out by the Eagles, right? It wasn't Jaden's fault. We got blown out by the Eagles. But if Jaden would have hurt himself the last play of the Lions game, I don't know what I would have been feeling. I mean, that would have been – this is tough for them, tough for the Broncos in general, tough for Bo.
It's going to be one of those what could have been conversations is always going to be on the case. What if Bo Nix was healthy?
Yeah.
Because – and we'll talk about it, but they could still win this game, okay? They could still win it. They have a good team.
I think there's two paths this team could take at this point. And I got to believe, I mean, this is crushing in the locker room, obviously, but I got to believe AFC Championship, Super Bowl appearance on the line, Sean Payton, been there, done that. I got to believe he's going to have them ready. So there's two paths this team could take with Jarrett Stidham as quarterback. And a lot of it has to do with Stidham and how he plays. One path, I think, is the path of the 2025 Texans, where your quarterback just melts down. Like, that's what it was. You have everything. You like your weapons enough. You know, they don't blow anybody out of the water, but you like them enough. And then that defense gets after you, rush the passer, quick on the back end, everything, and your quarterback melts down. That certainly could happen. That is on the board, right? The other path this team could take, and I think most people would think, 2017 Eagles, backup quarterback, whatever. Yeah, that Eagles team, Nick Foles was putting up like 30 points in the playoffs. Like, Nick Foles was going off. I don't really see that happening. I think the best case scenario path for this Broncos team is this Broncos team a decade ago. The 2015 Broncos with Von Miller, and it was Brock Osweiler and Peyton Manning, and Peyton was done, and they were flipping back and forth on who was the starter, and obviously Peyton played in the Super Bowl, and they just got enough from their defense, and their defense won them games. And that's the hope if you're a Broncos fan. That's what it has to be at this point. But I could see it going either way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the Patriots in a second, but I was on the Broncos side of that. I was going to kind of give a knock to a props to their defense because, I mean, giving up 30 points to Josh Allen in the playoffs, just about everybody does that anyway, so I don't see necessarily a giant, their defense is just cracking now. You can see it like that's Josh Allen, arguably the best player in football. You gave up 30 to him. We'll talk about the Patriots in a second, but Drake May hasn't looked unstoppable in this playoffs. He's looked very vulnerable. He's had good moments, but he hasn't put a game together yet. So I'm not looking at this as like, we're, so far behind the eight ball. You don't necessarily have to win a shootout with the Patriots. I don't think they're going to have to get into that situation. This defense is good enough to where they could hold the Bills to, or not the Bills. They could hold the Patriots to 17 points. I think that's on the table. So it's not impossible for this defense to be the spearhead that takes them there.
And that's the hope. That's what it has to be, I think. But the thing this defense does, and there's been some games where they've given up points. They gave up points to the Bills. Remember the Jags? Whatever, that was like a month ago. Remember that game? I mean, they got hammered by the Jags.
Yeah, they got smoked by the Jags.
And I think there was another game where they gave up big. I think the Colts got to them pretty good early in the season. But the thing they do, man, they get after the quarterback. Even better than the Texans. I mean, they get at sacks. They were number one by a long shot this season. And Drake May, we're going to talk about the Patriots, but if there's one thing he's done that you don't love this playoffs, it's fumble the football. He has put it on the ground 6 times in 2 games. Can they force some turnovers that way? I think probably. And, I mean, that's the hope. I mean, you're going to have, a Sean Payton really good opening script, at least field goal, hopefully touchdown. You're going to have, a turnover that gets you in not short yardage, but like a positive field position where you can maybe squeak in another touchdown. And then you're going to have Stidham make, I don't know, can you be big on 3 third downs and throw 1 big touchdown? Like, can you give me that? And can we find 24 points out there and see what our defense can do? It's possible. It's possible with how good this defense is and what Sean Payton showed me last week. But man, it's a tall task for a backup quarterback. AFC Championship game is a tall task for a backup quarterback.
Yeah, and something that I'm looking at. I meant to check on this earlier because I saw a report. J.K. Dobbins is practicing for Denver. Yeah. The running game has been their Achilles heel. I guess not necessarily Achilles heel. They've been okay, but they haven't been spectacular.
They just haven't done it.
They're going to need to lean on the running game. They haven't done it.
I was going to say, since Dobbins went down, like, they're playing 3 guys, really 2, but Baday's getting a little bit of run as well. They're using their running backs. Like, their running backs are getting touches, but it's just not been carries. I mean, it's all dump off, screens, little angle route.
It's not conventional.
They haven't done that without Dobbins a lot. I would expect if he plays for it to be not strictly short yardage situations, but I could see him being out there on the 3rd and 1s, the fourth and 2s, those kind of plays where you kind of know they're running, and I think they probably have a little more confidence in him than they do in Harvey or McLaughlin or any of those other guys right now.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, I'm like, man, that obviously, they're going to know to key on the running game because, like, I'm going to force Jarrett Stidham to beat me. I want to force Jarrett Stidham to beat me. I'm not going to let Sean Payton do that. But if they can lean on Dobbins, if he can play in this game, and this would be one of those, you never want to force a player back too early. I get that, but this is the AFC Championship. If you can get him back in any capacity, right, even if it is short yardage, that would be a huge boost to this offense.
And it would just be another pitch for Sean Payton to throw. I mean, it's just something else in his back pocket. And I'm excited to see the game plan. I think, the path to winning for the Broncos is to turn the Patriots over. I think you're going to need some of that. But I also think, like, if Stidham goes out there, I guess it's possible they overcome one turnover. If he turns it over multiple times, they're not going to win. He doesn't have like Josh Allen turned it over 4 times, but his ceiling is so high, they were still in the game in the end, and they could have won it. Stidham, if he turns it over twice, he doesn't have the ceiling to get there. It's got to be a high floor game. No. I would expect a conservative, I would expect conservative play calling, conservative, idea until they have to just heave it downfield at the end if they're losing or something. But I would say Sean Payton's going to steer clear of that every chance he can, and just try to keep them ahead of the chains, keep them ahead of the sticks, keep drives going, punt. Like, punts are not awful for the Broncos in this game, especially if you can flip field position, and just see if you can minimize the mistakes.
Yeah, and I mean, their defense is good too. So we saw the Texans turn the ball over 5 times last week, and the Texans were very much in this game because the Patriots couldn't move the ball on them. So, I mean, you said the Patriots last week had, 7 points off turnovers, and it was because of a pick 6?
Right. The only points Texas turned it over 5 times. The only points the Patriots got was the pick 6. They didn't they didn't get a field goal, touchdown, nothing. I mean, and so, it's not like the Patriots have just gone out there in their first 2 playoff games and lit everybody up. It's been a struggle for them. Now, they got so many possessions because of the turnovers. Eventually, they sustained good drives. But if you take care of the ball, it's not going to be easy on that offense. Not with this pass rush, man. This pass rush is scary. And Drake May, he's made some big plays, but he's put the ball on the ground. That is something he has done. I'm trying to look right now at the weather for this one. 3 o'clock in Denver. You're looking at 20 degrees. The feel like. Okay, so I mean, feel like's going to be in the teens. So that's not nothing for Denver.
Yeah, May did not seem to like the cold. Neither did C.J. Stroud, but May didn't seem to like the cold last week.
I thought the cold was an issue with some of the fumbles, and so if you can put pressure on him, man, who knows? Who knows? And at the end of the day, the first free agent Sean Payton signs when he got to Denver, the first free agent was Jarrett Stidham, and he barely played his first 2 years there. I don't know if he played at all. And Sean Payton extended him last offseason. Sean Payton likes him. He sees something that he likes that I don't know if it's he already knew the system. I don't know what it is, but there's something Sean Payton likes about him. Now, I don't think he would be signing up for Jarrett Stidham starting in an AFC Championship game for him. But nonetheless, there's something he likes.
Not ideal with that, but
there's something he likes. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. Can you give me 4 quarters, Jared? Can you give me 4 quarters of football, and we'll see what happens?
At the end of these, we're going to do our thing we've done for all of them. Like, what does this mean for the quarterback? But on the Denver side, I would say, too, what does this mean if they go out and win this game? What does this mean for Sean Payton? This has got to be one of the most impressive coaching wins maybe ever.
Yeah.
And we praised Kyle Shanahan, last week for just getting this roster somehow this far into the playoffs.
Right.
And I get it. It will have been a much easier path than Kyle Shanahan had to take. But dude, if you lose your quarterback this late in the season and still make the Super Bowl, that's a heck of a coaching job, man.
I think that might put him in the Hall of Fame. I think winning this game would put him in the Hall of Fame. And he's one of those guys that's probably going to get there anyway. Like, there's a lot of coaches with 1 Super Bowl win that are not in the Hall of Fame. 2, I think, typically gets you in. There might be a few that aren't. But he has his 1. He's had a lot of success. He's been in the playoffs a lot. He's had a lot of success in his career. And to turn Denver around the way he did this quickly and get a Super Bowl and miss your quarterback for the AFC Championship game, I mean, that's Hall of Fame stuff. So
that's a legendary season he just had.
That's incredible. So.
If that happens. I mean, I think it's an impressive season regardless of what happens, but if he gets them past this with a backup quarterback, that's unbelievable.
It is.
All right. On the Patriots side, I don't think there's any way other to slice it. You need to win this game. You cannot lose this.
Yeah, I mean, going into last week, I would have said, honestly, I didn't think there was any pressure on the Patriots last week. Much less like, if you make the AFC Championship game, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you. I would have thought, no chance there's pressure. I mean, it's second-year quarterback, first-year coach with this organization. There's not pressure if you make the AFC Championship game, right? The season was an ultimate success. Ben, this could be the best chance they ever have to win a Super Bowl. It just could be.
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, I was just thinking, like, before this week, regardless, this was a successful season. Like, Drake May proved he's that guy. Yeah. Mike Vrabel's incredible. I don't know what their cap situation is, but I'm assuming a lot of guys are still on cheap contracts. They can get guys in free agency. They're going to be a juggernaut. But with just the way this playoffs is shaped out, this has gone from a successful season to Super Bowl or bust real quick. Because you know all the stuff we were saying about Josh Allen, no Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar. Guess what? Allen's going to be back in the mix next year. Mahomes is going to be back in the mix next year. Lamar's going to be back in the mix next year. Probably Burrow, in some capacity, could be in there. Yeah. If all of those guys are in the playoffs, I don't love my chances of getting through all of them.
Right.
That's a tall task. I do like my chances of getting past Jarrett Stidham. This may be May's best shot ever.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Maybe May is the truth, and Vrabel is the truth, and they're here a lot. I guess that's possible. Like, that's a reality thing. I will say this, I feel better about them continuing this success than I did about Washington last year. I was very clear last year, this could be the farthest Jaden ever gets with Washington because the organization has been a disaster my whole life. The Patriots have not been a disaster. The Patriots have been the very opposite of that. So maybe this is the truth, and this is going to sustain.
They've only been bad for the past couple years.
Yeah, but, I mean, before that, they had 2 different dynasties this century. So...
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, they've only had a couple bad years in the past 30 years.
Right. So maybe, they're going to be here every year. Or maybe not. Maybe this is as close as you get. Like, let's have this conversation now, Ben. I almost did it last week with Josh Allen when we were talking about him, but let's do it now since we have a little more time this week. So you think about it. AFC. Okay? if we go through it, I think people looking at what Drake May has done this year, and he might make the Super Bowl this year, right? He very well may make it. I think a lot of people would say Drake May is going to win a Super Bowl someday. People are going to say Allen will eventually win one, or that's the thought. People would think Lamar will eventually win one. I don't think Mahomes is done winning them. Maybe he is, but I don't think he's completely done. People are going to say maybe Burrow. You look at what Sean Payton has done with Bo Nix so far. You think maybe does he get one? And then you go over to the NFC. Stafford's still in the league. You think Ben Johnson and Caleb. You think, can Jaden figure it out? Is Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, are they done winning it? Sam Darnold, look at what they're doing. Not all these guys are going to win a Super Bowl. It's that simple. And I didn't even get to Herbert and Trevor Lawrence and Stroud and some of those other Jordan Love and some of those lower guys that we think about. Somebody's not winning it.
And you got to think, too, there's other guys. I mean, you've got whiz kids over in Minnesota who I could see getting there. Right. Kyle Shanahan is still doing his thing in San Francisco. Yeah. It's a tough league, man.
It's a hard league.
It's a tough league.
And not everybody in this era is unbelievable with the depth of quarterback play. You could argue the top level, there have been better eras, and maybe that's true. I'm not sure that's true, but you could argue it. But the depth of the league, I think, is super strong right now. I mean, I think there's legit like 15 guys in the league that, in the right situation, could win a Super Bowl. I think that's probably fair right now, just judging the people I just mentioned. And not all of them are going to get to. And so, who knows? Yeah. Maybe this is their best chance to ever win one. I'll say this, right now, Drake May, in the position he is in right now, is in a better spot to win a Super Bowl than Josh Allen has ever been in or Lamar.
Oh, yeah. I would easily argue that.
Neither of those guys have ever been in a situation better suited to win a Super Bowl.
Lamar and Josh and Burrow, they've all had to go through each other. Right. I've had to go through each other and Mahomes. Yep. That's obviously we know how that turns out. Yep. It's not easy.
Both of those guys, Lamar and Josh, every time they've made the AFC Championship game, they've stood across from Mahomes all three times. Lamar once, Allen twice. And Drake looks across the field Sunday, and he's the best player in the game. Now, if we're going like breaking down positions, like, Surtain is a better corner than he is a quarterback. That's fair. But as far as like value added to the game, they have the best player. And so
he's the most important player.
He's the most important player.
He's the most important player.
And so, dude, there's real pressure. I know it's a second-year quarterback. I know it's a first-year coach. There's real pressure because this actually could be their best chance they ever have.
I would go as far as to say, I don't know. Obviously, the Super Bowl would be different because you're going to be playing regardless a juggernaut at coming out of the NFC. But they should make the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they have to, like, they'll win it. They should. Like, I don't see many excuses to not make the Super Bowl this year. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean,
like that. I think that's where the pressure's coming. Like, not only is it your best chance, you should.
It's a weird thing because the season as a whole will be a massive success. I mean, an incredible success. Like, if you told them before the season, you make the Super Bowl this year, or you make the AFC Championship game this year, they would be thrilled with that. Everyone in that organization would have signed up for it. Even if you told them they lose it. If we just make it, everybody's signing up for that. But if it happens this way, it's gonna leave a bad taste because you're so close. And it's like there's the meme of Dan Campbell from a few years back where he says, this might be the closest we ever get when they lost to the Niners. And everybody was like, oh, man, the Lions, look at this trajectory. They're up and up and up, and they're getting better every year, and they got all this talent, and the cap's not bad and all this. Dude, They hadn't been close since. They haven't been close. You get bounced by Washington last year, and then this year you miss the playoffs altogether. And it just – I know people have watched Tom Brady, and they've watched Patrick Mahomes the last 20 years, and they think, oh, it just happens. You can get there every year. No, you can't. No, ask Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers won it in year 3 as a starter. He was MVP. The next year they were 15-1, and they get bounced by Eli Manning in the playoffs, and Rodgers never gets back. Never got back. It doesn't happen all the time for everyone, and so there's real pressure on this Patriots team, and I'm really excited to see how they handle it in Denver.
Yeah, I would give props to Brady, Mahomes, and even to a certain extent Josh Allen for always being like right there on the cusp. It's hard to maintain that level of consistency in this
really
league.
hard.
It is so hard to do
Don't
that.
just look at those guys and think, oh, if you're good, you compete every year. Did Lamar compete this year? Has Burrow competed the last few years? No, man. It's a whole organizational thing to get to that
and
level.
they're two of the best in the league.
And man, I don't know. I'm excited to see how they handle it. They should win. I think if Drake doesn't turn it over, they win. I honestly think it's that simple.
Yeah, and I was going to touch a little bit on that too. I mean, Drake has to he doesn't have to have a great game for them to win this. He just needs to be safe. If Drake May goes out there and has a bad game, and let's say they do lose this one and he turns it over 2 or 3 times, he's going to get a little bit of a mantra too, because he did not play well against the Chargers. He did not play well against the Texans. And then if he lost to the Jarrett Stidham Broncos because he had a bad game, that's not the best look out there.
Yeah, I mean, Drake he's gotten a little bailed out this postseason because of how well the defense has played and how Stroud melting down, Herbert not having an offensive line has allowed Drake to go through bumps in the road and come out okay. I mean, he threw 3 touchdowns in the last game. Like the counting numbers look pretty good if you don't look at the fumbles. But he's had bad moments in both of them, gotten away with it. Crazy. I think he could get away with some in this game as well, but I just don't see the path for them losing if he doesn't turn it over.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that to put him down or anything, but I'm just noting he's got to be a little bit careful in this game. He can't be super careless, because if you go down in this game, they're going to point the finger at you as like you're the reason they lost because this team had a backup quarterback.
Yeah. You got beat by Jarrett Stidham. That's always going to be the dude, say what you want. Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest player ever, set the all-time passing yardage record in the Super Bowl against Nick Foles. And it's still like a joke that he lost to Nick Foles. Like, oh my gosh, you lost to Nick Foles. Like, I set the all-time passing, he threw for 505 yards in that game.
Nobody cares.
505 yards.
Nobody cares, Tom.
He was
you lost.
Like an NCAA My Player game, right? Oklahoma, like a Big 12 game back in the day. And people still make a joke about it. Like, if you lose this game, yes, you're year 2 and you have your whole career to, put that behind you, right? But it's going to be something. I mean, it's something.
And I guess that's a good segue into what's at stake for each of these quarterbacks. We've kind of just touched on what's at stake for Drake May. Do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I mean, what's at stake? I mean, if he makes the Super Bowl, look, right now in the short term, everybody's like, it's kind of a punchline what their record has been, what their path has been. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. In 2 years of the NFL, like, what was Kansas City's path when they played the Eagles the first time around when they beat them in the Super Bowl? Like, I could sit here and think about it and probably remember it, but I don't remember. Like, right off the top of my head, like, people aren't going to remember their path. They're just going to remember, hey, man, in year 2, this guy made the Super Bowl. The first time he got a good coach, he made the Super Bowl. And you're talking about a few guys in the history of the game you can say that about that made the Super Bowl in year 2. Yeah. I'm talking Marino. I'm talking Mahomes year 2 as a starter. I'm talking Brady. Like, this is the class we're talking about. So, not to say he's as good as those guys, but like, those are the only guys who's accomplished that thing. And he's going to be able to go into next season saying, Allen, Mahomes, Stafford, nobody else is better than me. I don't know if I'll believe that, but he can say it.
And if he wins the Super Bowl, I'm with you. I'm not going to believe it. But if he wins it, he has a legit claim on that. I just won the Super Bowl. I'm one of the best in the league.
And there'll be a lot of people to say he's the best. There just will be. Like, there were people who said Jalen Hurts was the best last year. But I think he'll have a legit claim. It'll be a top 4, I think. I think it'll be a top 4, especially if Stafford wins. Honestly, if Stafford loses, it might be like people having a top 3. It might be Allen, Mahomes, and May with Stafford in that next tier with Lamar and Burrow. Honestly, but
and there's a chance that he could get it anyway. I mean, if Stafford retires after this year, okay, well, he's out of the picture then.
Yeah. If Stafford wins the Super Bowl and retires, absolutely. So
I think it's gone from not a lot on the line to a lot on the line.
Yeah, it has, and sometimes it works out like that, and we'll see how he handles it. I don't know. It's one of those weird things though, where like I don't know if that's something. All the media sees that, but I don't know if like the Patriots think of it that way. Like, oh, there's a lot of pressure now because we're playing a backup. I think they're probably just preparing like a normal game. You know, I don't think they feel that, but he'll probably hear about it if they lose.
Yeah. We're not in an NFL building, so we don't know that. We're just speculating. We're just looking at it from an outsider.
Yeah.
This is what his legacy could look like if he does this. This is what it could look like if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the line for Jarrett Stidham, or are we just telling him to go have fun?
Not with a loss. No, I mean the only thing with a loss, biggest moment of your career, and you know this was your opportunity and you messed it up. That kind of thing. That's going to be devastating for him personally, but like legacy wise, with a loss, no. But with a win, man,
he's backup quarterback.
With a win, he's going to be, he's going to be David Tyree. With the helmet catch, he's going to be Nick Foles. He's going to to the Broncos fans.
I was going to say, like, he jumps into the Nick Foles category. Like, everybody knows who Nick Foles is. He was basically a career backup, but you know who he is.
Right. David Tyree had like 5 career catches or something like that, but he had the helmet catch. Like, he's going to be a guy that to the Denver Broncos fans always will be a hero. He will always be a hero. And every team has guys like this. If you go back through their history of like, man, that one game, he did it that 2-game stretch in the playoffs. He had that huge catch or that huge play. He could be that guy in Denver. You win this game and you never buy a meal in Denver the rest of your life if you're Jarrett Stidham. He's that type of guy.
Yeah. So I guess it's not a ton of pressure, but I mean, he has a chance to cement himself in history.
He absolutely does.
Yeah. I'm excited for him. Game prediction. I feel like we're probably both on the same page with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Not a prediction. Not prediction. We don't really do predictions, but who do you think wins?
I think I would lean the Patriots. I think, I think at some point Stidham will make a mistake. I don't know when that is, but I think he might have a good half. He might have some good stretches, but I think at some point he's going to do something that they just can't overcome. And I think the game plan going in for Drake May is just going to be, don't turn it over. Just don't fumble the ball and we win. If we punt, we win. And so I'll take the Patriots like 24-16, 24-17, something like that.
Yeah, I was going to go like 20 to 13-ish type of score. I mean, I think it'll be closer than some people will want to say it is. We're like, well, the Patriots will crush them. No, the Patriots are going to be smart. They're not going to be stupid. They're not going to try. They're not going to run up the score. They're going to do what they have to do to win and try to get out of there.
Yep.
All right. Probably. I don't know if it's necessarily the more exciting game, but
I think it is.
Probably the two, in my opinion. These are the 2 best teams in the NFL. These are the 2 best teams remaining in the playoff.
Yep.
It's Rams. It's Seahawks in Seattle. Where do you want to start with this one?
I mean, I think we can start with this one. The last game these 2 played together, dude. That was the biggest game of the year.
It was a classic.
It was a classic.
A classic.
And
dude.
If the Rams would have won that game, I'd have to look at tiebreakers. No, they would have the tiebreaker because they would have beat Seattle twice. If the Rams can hold a 16-point lead in the second half, this game's in L.A., and they would have had an easier path to get here, and they would have had a bye, and all that. I mean, it's just that was such a consequential loss for them. Not to mention, they would own Seattle mentally. Like, we beat you twice. We blew you out in your building. Man, Seattle coming back from that, saying that saved their season and their Super Bowl path is an understatement. I mean, that's the biggest game of the year in terms of what it meant for the real NFL is that second matchup they had this year.
Yeah, because instead of, and I'm not saying this necessarily would have changed things, they could have won either one of them, but instead of playing that hapless 49ers team at home, you're going to Chicago or something like that, which would have been a much closer and very losable game for them. So it really did wonders for them.
Going to Carolina, which Seattle to Carolina is a long flight, which they had just been there in week 17, and then going to Chicago, Sam Darnold, getting to see him in the frigid temperatures, who knows what that would have looked like. So, but I mean, anyways, we get round 3. And on the Rams side,
that's a crazy path, by the way, for the Seahawks. Yeah. They've had to play their top two division rivals 3 times this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and one of them was beat up. San Francisco was beat up the last 2 times they played them, but this Rams team, man, Seattle is obviously elite on defense. If you watch them, they are fast everywhere. They're stout, man. They are stout on defense, and yet Stafford has basically cooked them this year. Like, in that Thursday night game, he threw for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. 450 against this defense. But the first game, I think he only threw for like 140 or 150. Like, he didn't throw for much, but Sam Darnold turned it over 100 times in that game. So it'll be interesting, man. I want to see the type of loss they suffered in Seattle sticks with you. Up 16 against a team that, like, in a must-win game, the biggest matchup of the year, I want to see what they look like coming back to that stadium. And I know, same division, they've played there before, but they haven't played there since that moment. And can you imagine that crowd this weekend, Ben, after what we saw last weekend?
Oh, boy.
My gosh. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. One other interesting thing, Seattle played on Saturday, and they haven't traveled. The Rams played in Chicago on Sunday. Went to L.A., and then obviously back to Seattle. So, rest advantage again to Seattle. I don't even know what to expect. I could see this game honestly being, I could see a world where it's 17-13, and I could see a world where it's 38-35. I'm just excited to watch it unfold.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to come down to, we know what it's going to come down to. This one, I would not have expected this going into the season, but thinking it's going to come down to either Sam Darnold or Matt Stafford is wild. I'm not surprised it comes down to Matt Stafford, but the game will be decided by Sam Darnold.
Right.
It really will.
So I think we've seen flaws on this Rams team really the last 4 weeks. Really, since the Rashid Shaheed punt return. Honestly, from that moment on, we have seen flaws on this team, right? Tough game in Carolina, tough game in Chicago. They lose to Atlanta. They don't blow out the Cardinals, who were terrible. Like, we've seen some flaws. The question is simple. Can Stafford overcome them? And can Sam Darnold not be the reason the Seahawks lose? That's it. That's the question.
And I think Darnold. Yeah. I think Seattle overall is a better team than the Rams are.
Yes.
But now, I was going to say too, in a similar situation to Drake May, but also not, Darnold's going to have to play a clean game. He can't. He can't have 2, 3, 4 turnovers in this game. But at the same time, he's not going to be able to, like, Drake May should, in theory, be able to beat the Broncos. He might not even have to throw a touchdown. He just needs to be safe, move the ball when you need to do, punt, play field position, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Darnold's playing Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
That's not Jared Stidham. That's possibly the best quarterback in the game right now.
Yeah.
With Puka Nacua, with Devontae Adams, with Sean McVay out there. So it's really all on Darnold's shoulders. I mean, the defense is good. I think they can slow the Rams down. They have slowed the Rams down before. I mean, earlier this season when they lost to the Rams, they lost by 2 points, and Darnold threw 4 picks.
4 picks.
So the defense, yes. So it's not like the defense can't stop the Rams at all. So,
No.
but he has got to. He's the key to the game. He really is. He's got to play a good game and clean at the same time.
It's just so weird because those 2 games, they were both really close. They were both good games, but they were the opposite of each other. I mean, the total opposite.
Yeah.
Like, Darnold, I want to say it was 20-18 or 21-18 that first game. Darnold throws...
It was 21. It was 21-19.
21-19, okay.
21-19, and he threw 4 picks.
Darnold throws 4 picks and you lose by 2. Stafford throws for 140 yards and you're like, oh man, maybe McVay and Stafford just, they didn't have it figured out or whatever. They play him again in Seattle. Stafford throws for 450 and 3 tubs, and they have a 16-point lead at one point. And the whole season changes with a Rashid Shaheed punt return. That has been a bugaboo for the Rams all year. They were talking about it on the broadcast, how bad their special teams are. And they had a punt blocked against Carolina, if you'll remember. Carolina blocked a punt and had a chance to beat them with 4 minutes left, if you'll remember that. And so apparently they've had bad special teams all year. And that is something, with the addition of Rashid Shaheed, Seattle has been great at. Absolutely great at. I mean, we saw Shaheed. The game was over 10 seconds in against San Francisco because he returned that punt for a touchdown. And could that play a factor? Could Rashid Shaheed return a punt inside the 10-yard line in this game, and Kenneth Walker walks in for a touchdown, and momentum shifts, and it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I am still so. I'm gonna go back to this well, Ben. Sam Darnold. Again, maybe I am just so skewed by his Jets tenure, his Panthers tenure, and the last 2 games of last year, but I will bring it up again. Last year, he played Detroit, 1 seed on the line, melted down. Then he played... Who did they play in round 1? I don't even remember. Oh, was it L.A.? They played L.A. in round 1.
Was it?
Yeah, right? Last year in Minnesota?
Okay.
I'm almost positive they played L.A. in round 1. Because then L.A. went on to play the Eagles. Yeah, I think they played L.A. in round 1. And he did not play well in that game. He didn't melt down, but he was not good in that game. And they lose that one. That's sticking with me. This year, he played San Francisco with the 1 seed on the line, and they won 13-3. So he didn't melt down. He wasn't the reason they lost, but he didn't have to do anything for them to win that game, really. Last week, he definitely didn't have to do anything to win that game. Now, he played well. Made some big throws. The throw to JSN in the corner was a nice throw. Like he kept things moving, but they were never in jeopardy of losing. I am still eager to see what it looks like if they get to a moment when they're in jeopardy of losing and he has to make a play. I'm ready to see what that looks like.
Yep. And he threw 4 picks against them.
He did.
He threw 4 picks against them in the first loss. He threw 2 picks in the one they won. So he has 6 interceptions from against LA alone this year.
In that second game they played, after he threw the pick to the defensive lineman that he just missed, dropping back in coverage at the goal line. What did I text you? Do you remember what I text you?
I think you text. Oh no, I remember now. It was the eye emojis and then a deer. It was just deer in headlights.
The deer and the flashlight. It was deer in headlights because that's what he looked like. And then obviously everything turned with the Shaheed punt return and Sam. Credit to him.
He was the hero of that game at the same time.
Credit to him. He was great in that fourth quarter, and he was great in overtime. Now he got a little help. If you'll remember, that was the game where there was the batted pass on the 2-point conversion that went into the end zone and Charbonnet picked it up. Remember that? That was just that crazy scenario. Yeah. So we got a little help there, but he led them back in that game. I mean, they were down 16 points. 1 punt return doesn't win you the game.
I mean, that was...
You got to go out there and win it.
That was the best moment of his career was being sharp in that fourth quarter and in overtime, by far the best moment of his career.
Absolutely. That's a great point. That's the best moment of his career. And so, I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited to see it. And I'm excited. You know me. I do not like underdog stories. Everybody in America, we love the underdog story. I like when somebody just goes out there and rolls everybody, just dominates everyone. I would love to see a game where it looks like Seattle is just better everywhere. Their defense is better, linebackers, their defensive line, all this stuff. And it just doesn't matter because Stafford goes out there and just wills them to victory. He just dominates the game, takes over, and wills the worst team to the Super Bowl. I would love to see that, but honestly, I want the Rams to win. But if Seattle wins this game, I'm not going to be upset by it because they deserve it, man. They're that good.
And you can't say it's an underdog story either, really, for Seattle, because I think this is the best roster in the league right now.
It is.
Outside of Sam Darnold, who is the question mark, they got a good O-line. They got great receivers. They got a good running back. They got two good running backs, obviously Charbonnet tore his ACL.
Yep.
And obviously everybody knows that defense is an absolute terror.
Yep.
So, I mean, the Rams are a good team, don't get me wrong, but there is a world where this could look like the Super Bowl last year, to where Seattle's just better everywhere, and the Rams can't overcome it. Now, I don't think the gap between them and the Rams is as big as the talent gap between the Eagles and the Chiefs was last year, but there is a talent gap.
Yeah, there is. There is a talent gap, and so I'm excited to see it. I need, man, Rams defensive line. Can you give me something? I mean,
yeah, they have forced. Early in the season, I thought they were a top 5 defense. Like, they had top 5 quarterback, top 5 offense, and a top 5 defense.
Right.
They have not been getting after the passer lately.
Not at all. And so they didn't sack Caleb at all last week. They had 0 sacks on Caleb. Now, did they force him, to move in the pocket, and he's really good at that. He's better than Sam is at that. So Sam's a much easier person to sack.
He would rather do that, honestly.
Do what?
I think Caleb would rather do that, honestly.
He loves to do it, yeah. So Sam's going to be an easier target to sack. But can you get to him? Jared Verse. I mean, these guys up front, can you make things uncomfortable for Sam? I'll tell you this. This is the most pressure Sam has ever faced because he does have the 1 seed. He is at home. He does have the better roster. He did have a bye. He's coming off a game where they really didn't have to. It was not a stressful game. He has more rest. Like, there is pressure on Sam in this game to prove to everyone he is who people thought he could be coming out of college. If you want to make him feel a lot worse about it, get all over him. I mean, make it tough. Make him have to get rid of the ball quick. Make him have to scramble, get out of the pocket, and try to make something happen. Make those things happen. I'm interested to see if they're able to do it.
And we'll take that opportunity and go straight into what's at stake for each of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Let's go with Darnold first, and then we'll talk Stafford after that.
If Sam Darnold makes a Super Bowl, what's at stake? I think
I want to say it's almost like a redemption for his legacy because people completely wrote this guy off. And we're among them, and rightfully so. Like, he was a disaster in the Jets. He was a disaster in Carolina. But I don't necessarily – I mean, you go back, rewind the clock, knowing what we know now. Those organizations were a disaster. That, like, you can't put him sucking on the Jets on him. You can't put him sucking at Carolina on him because the whole thing was a complete mess. He finally gets some semblance of stability when he goes to Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
And – he has a great season. I'm not going to argue with you one bit that he melted down at the end of last year. Sure. Yeah, he did. He's the reason they lost the 1 seed. He's the reason they lost that playoff game. Mm-hmm. But that was also his first year of any kind of stability and success around him. Now he's back. He's in the NFC Championship with a stable team, a great team. He's looking at a chance to genuinely, completely just wash his legacy, his time in the Jets and all that away.
Yeah, I mean,
It's gone.
this is the Baker Mayfield story on steroids. I mean, if he makes the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and even this season to me has been more impressive than him last season, all the way through. But even this season, I've mentioned this probably 10 times on this show. There was one game where he made like 3 awful plays in a row, and I was just out on the Seahawks at that point. I was like, I cannot trust this team with this guy playing quarterback if he's going to make those mistakes. He's cleaned it up, and he's got a chance, man. He's got a chance to make the Super Bowl. What does it mean for him? He is who people thought he could be coming out. That's what it means. Now, there were players that went after him in that draft who were still better than him, but he is who people thought he could be. And the Jets are really just that bad. What it honestly means is if he wins the Super Bowl or makes the Super Bowl, the NFL may have to actually start thinking about relegation? What is it that they do in soccer? Where like you get kicked out of the league if you're the last team. The Jets just need to be gone. They go to a different league if Sam Darnold makes the Super Bowl.
Like it might have to be like the NFL is going to have to step in. The other owners are going to have to step in and say, "Y'all, you have to sell the team.
You have to sell this team.
You're done. You're done.
Because this guy,
you're done,
dude. People forget he was Daniel Jones before Daniel Jones. Like Daniel Jones was the laughing stock for a few years there. Before Daniel Jones, it was him seeing Ghost on Sunday Night Football against Bill Belichick. We all remember that one. Like that's what this guy was was up with. Was Adam Gase there when he got there?
I think it was Adam Gase.
Gosh, what a disaster!
God, that was a disaster.
What
Holy
a disaster!
I haven't heard Adam Gase's name in a long time, and I wasn't expecting that tonight.
Yeah, and then he goes to Carolina, and Carolina, just to show you that organization, they had Sam Darnold and Baker. Look at what those two are doing now, and they were playing P.J. Walker, if you'll remember. P.J. Walker was getting starts that year. So
I do.
So, yeah, I mean, it will just cement everything people thought he could be. It will cement that contract. That contract, if he makes the Super Bowl, even though he's not the driving force, that contract he signed is a steal for the Seahawks. Complete steal for the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something. If you're out there and your team does not have a quarterback you believe in, you could have had Sam Darnold. 100% of the teams out there who do not have quarterbacks you believe in could have had Sam Darnold 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, and this year. You have to be.
The Vikings have to be kicking themselves. They have to be.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Dude, that's look. Hindsight is 2020, but man,
yeah,
that is a disastrous move. Letting him walk out of that building.
Yeah, would he have gone back to Minnesota for even less than he went to Seattle for? Maybe.
It's possible.
And could they have, if they would have done that, and they would have got Sam Darnold.
That division was good.
Yeah.
But turned out to be winnable.
Oh.
Go ahead.
And if they would have gotten Sam Darnold on a cheap deal, you think Minnesota in the situation they're in, cap-wise and picks-wise, wouldn't have been on a Max Crosby this year, wouldn't have been on Myles Garrett. Like, that whole organization would have been different. I didn't even think about that. So that's a great call by you. But yeah, it just cements everything people thought about him, everything people thought he could be, and changes his narrative completely. He cannot be the guy anymore that we saw with the Jets. That's just, you can't think of him that way when you think of Sam Darnold if he makes the Super Bowl. He has to be the guy from Minnesota and Seattle, and man, that would be awesome for him. Awesome for him.
With a loss, with an ugly loss, I think we'll have conversations. But with a loss, does it change a whole lot, or is he still like the kind of guy that everybody, quote unquote, thinks he is right now?
Yeah, I mean, if he looks bad, I mean, if he goes full Stroud and does that, I mean, everybody's going to be sitting there saying,
"You can't do that."
I told you this was always going to happen. He was always going to be their downfall, right? If that happens, but if he plays just mediocre. Let's say he goes 2-11, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and they lose by 4 points. I think he's a guy that the Seahawks go into next year thinking, with him, we can win the Super Bowl. We are good enough to win the Super Bowl with him. I think he's that level of player of like, you can win with him type guy, even if he loses.
Yeah.
So I don't, outside of a disaster game, I don't see a ton to lose there. Like if you lose and Matt Stafford, who's going to win the MVP, makes the Super Bowl, nobody's killing him, I don't think, unless he goes full Stroud and is seeing ghost again.
I was gonna say the only thing that'll be negative for his legacy is he cannot melt down in this game.
That would be bad.
Now again, like it won't be a killer, I guess, because we've seen him melt down before, but you can't melt down in this game. Dude.
That would be bad.
You got to be at least. He has to be at least okay, and I think he can do that. I think he will. Honestly, I think he will, but. Just don't melt down. On Stafford's side, I don't know where we'll see where you are. I think it's all Hall of Fame. That's got to be what his eyes are on. I mean,
yeah.
I think he's going to make it anyway with the current Super Bowl, the probable MVP. But if he makes another Super Bowl,
he's a lot.
He's got to be going to the Hall of Fame.
He might. If he wins the MVP and makes a Super Bowl, he might be a first ballot guy. I think there's a little bit. I don't think people, if he plays well, are going to kill him for losing to this Seattle team after seeing what they just did to the 49ers. And, it'll be different if Seattle doesn't win the Super Bowl. I think if Stafford loses this game and then Seattle doesn't win the Super Bowl, maybe it looks worse for him in the future. Also, another sneaky thing. I think if he were to lose this, and Drake May were to win and go to the Super Bowl, and then Drake plays well in the Super Bowl, if Stafford wins that MVP, people are going to question it. I think, and that's not how it works. It's a regular season award. That's what it's about. It's not about the playoffs.
Yeah, the MVP's already decided.
Right
now, as we're sitting here right now, it's already been decided.
Right, it's already been decided. But I think he would look a little smaller holding it. I do think that. Like, we text when it looked like they might lose that Panther game. One of my texts was, if he loses this game, he's going to look real small holding that MVP trophy. It's a different level because he did make the championship game and he's playing the best team in the NFL. But if he was to lose and Drake was to win, and then Stafford wins the MVP, Twitter will hear about it. You'll see some stuff about that on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you that.
Whoever runs the Twitter account, Drake May Lover, they're going to tear that one apart.
They'll love to see that. But I mean, Hall of Fame. I think he's probably played himself in. Like to me, I watched all these guys, all their careers. He's always been better than Eli. He's always been better than Matt Ryan and Phillip Rivers. Like, even in Detroit, he was better than those guys, and he proved it when he got to the Rams. And, Eli and Phillip Rivers at least have a really good chance of getting in. I probably wouldn't put him in. Maybe Eli, I probably wouldn't put Phillip Rivers in. But he's better than those guys, and they're fringe guys, so he's probably going to make it anyway. But this would definitely cement it, even making a Super Bowl, not even winning.
Yeah. Yeah, he just all I think is this game. Obviously, he wants to win another Super Bowl, but if you get to 2 and have won 1 with the career stats he's had, with the probable MVP that's coming, he's getting in for sure.
Yep.
So that's the only thing I'm seeing as at stake for Stafford, really. Yep.
Very good.
Last thing, who do we think wins this game? This one's going to be tough, actually.
I don't know. I hope I'm pulling for the Rams. I wouldn't be devastated though if the Seahawks won. Like they're that elite of a team. But I want to see Stafford win the MVP, and I want to see him make the Super Bowl, and I think he could do both. So I'll pick Stafford just because it's with my heart. It's not really with my head, but it's with my heart. I'll pick the Rams.
Yeah, this is a 50-50 one to me, but I'm going to pick in a 50-50 shot, Yeah, I always lean the better quarterback, and that's Stafford. So
Yeah.
he's been here, he's done it. I'm gonna take Stafford.
Better quarterback and the more proven coach as well. So
Yeah, true. Landon, we did it. Well, we didn't quite do it.
No, we're at
We got an
101.
hour and 1 minute.
Close though. I like it.
It went longer. We went longer than we thought. I was thinking this could be like 30 minutes to 30 to 40 minutes, but we went over a lot.
We should know better by this point.
Yeah. Once we get going, it's hard for us to stop. We do this when we hang out in person and we're not recording a podcast.
Yeah.
These same conversations happen.
This is actually the only
We're just
reason we
recording
do
it this
this
time.
podcast is because we would be doing it anyway. So
Yeah.
why not just record it?
These are just our conversations written down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all we got. Hopefully, we're able to record next week. We'll see with your schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe if things happen, I could drag Josh off the bench. We'll find out. But, yeah, I think that's all we got. So, hopefully, we will see you guys next week. And hopefully, we got us a good Super Bowl on tap. We'll see you.